The Alice killings remain to this day one of the strangest and most unsolvable serial killings in Japan. From 1999 to 2005, a series of five murders took place.
They might each have been completely unrelated, if not for the calling card that the killer left at each crime scene. He would deposit a playing card. He would deposit a playing card. It varied from killing to killing. In an obvious location that had Alice written on it in the victim's blood. Very few other clues were found.
And eventually the case went. Below are the details of each killing. Sasaki Megumi first victim was a 29-year-old restaurant owner. Those who knew her described her as a headstrong woman with a sharp tongue when dealing with her employees. She was known by her customers for her fine cooking and dedication
Outside
to
of that job, Megumi was very social,
and often went to
very
parties.
social.
It was after one such party that she went missing. She had decided to walk home from her friends. She had decided to walk
seeing
home
as she
from
was
her
only a
friends.
block from home and a bit too drunk to drive.
She was only a block from
Several
home
people
and a bit
offered
too
to
drunk
drive her
home.
home.
Several people offered to drive her home.
She was seen leaving the party at 1 in the morning.
She was
Which
seen
is the
leaving the
last time
party
she
at
was
1 in
seen
the
alive.
morning, which is the last time she was seen alive.
Next morning,
A couple walking in the woods about a mile from Megumi's house saw a large amount of blood on an overgrown unused path. They followed it and found Megumi's body. And she found Megumi's body. She had been impaled on various tree branches. The couple called the police. The couple found the playing card crammed into Megumi's mouth. It was a jack of spades, which had a jack of spades.
word Alice,
which had
written on it. As
word
previously
Alice
mentioned,
written on it.
there were no
As
fingerprints
previously
or any
mentioned.
DNA.
There were no
found.
fingerprints or any
There
DNA
was vomit on
to
the
be
scene,
found. But the female
There
of
was
the couple
vomit on the
admitted
scene,
that it was hers.
But the female of the couple admitted
Yamane
that it was hers.
Akiyamane was a barely known singer in a band that never played anything more than various bars. His friends described him as a kind-hearted man who would never raise his voice His band fell apart. After
Not
his
having
death,
the heart
his band
to find
fell
a new
apart.
singer.
Not having the heart to find
Aki
a
was
new
abducted
singer.
from his apartment on
Aki was
11th,
abducted from his
2001.
apartment on
February
his
11th,
bandmates were the last
2001.
people to see
His
him
bandmates
alive,
were the last
as he had
people to
practiced
see
with them earlier
him
in the
alive,
day. As he had practiced
night,
with them earlier in the
his
day.
girlfriend came to visit
that night
him,
and was
his
surprised to
girlfriend
find the
came to
house
visit him
empty.
and was surprised
Within
to find the
days,
house
a missing
empty.
persons report
Within
was
days,
filed,
a missing
and a search
persons
for him
report
began.
was filed.
And a search for
On
him
the
began.
security
footage of the apartment,
On the security
a hooded
footage
figure
of the
could be seen
apartment,
entering. A hooded figure could be seen entering,
leaving with a
through a
large
side
garbage
door,
bag that bulged
and
strangely.
leaving with a large garbage
This
bag
appearance
that
was
bulged
never
strangely.
accounted for. This
And
appearance
no one
was
saw
never
the strange
accounted
man
for.
in person.
And no one
He is
saw the
widely
strange
believed
man in
to be the
person.
killer.
He
But
is
his
widely
face was
believed
never
to be
shown.
the killer.
And there appears
But
to
his
be
face
some
was
doubt.
never shown.
The
And there
following
appears
week,
to be some
the
doubt.
owner of the bar, the following week,
Yoshida's,
the owner of the
that the
bar,
band had often
Yoshida's,
performed,
was
where
opening
the band
for the
had
day,
often
and was met with a
performed, was
grizzly
opening for the day.
and was met with a grizzly. Slumped at a table was Arky's body. Slumped
His
at a
vocal
table
cords
was
had been
Arky's
ripped
body.
from his throat.
His vocal cords
he
had been ripped
shot
from
in
his
the
throat. His
And he
Alice
had been
card
shot
was
in
a
the
king
head.
of diamonds.
His
and
Alice
card was a
clutched
king
in
of
his
diamonds.
hands.
Along with
found
his
clutched
ruined
in his
vocal
hands.
cords.
Along with his ruined
teenage
vocal
girl.
cords.
Kai Sakura,
Kai
teenage
Sakura
girl,
had her whole life ahead of her.
Kai Sakura had
She was
her
a
whole
sweet
life
girl.
ahead of her, and well
She was a
loved
sweet
by her
girl.
classmates and relatives.
And well loved by her classmates
She wanted to
and
go to
relatives.
college to be a fashion
She
designer.
wanted to go to college to
and
be
was
a
a week
fashion
from
designer.
graduating high school when
And was
she
a
was
week from
abducted.
graduating high school when she was
Sakura's
abducted.
family went frantic trying to find
Sakura's
her.
family
and the
went
whole
frantic
town was
trying to
combed for
find
the
her.
lost girl.
And the whole town
Her body
was
was
combed
found
for
the
2
lost
days.
girl. Her body was
Later,
found 2
buried
days
in a shallow grave.
Later, it didn't
Buried
seem that
in
the
a
killer
shallow
wanted
grave.
her hidden.
It didn't
On the
seem
contrary,
that the killer wanted
he
her
had marked
hidden.
her grave with her.
On the contrary,
Alice playing
he had
card,
marked her
the
grave
Queen
with
of
her
Clubs,
Alice
playing card.
It had been taped to a stick,
Queen of
and
Clubs,
stuck on top of the grave.
It had been taped to a stick.
Sakura's
and stuck
body
on
had
top
been
of the
horribly
grave.
mutilated.
Her
Sakura's
eyes had been
body had
carved
been
from her
horribly
body.
mutilated.
Her skin
Her
was
eyes
flayed.
had been carved from her
and her
body.
mouth had been sliced
Her
open.
skin was flayed.
A crown was sewn
and
to
her
her
mouth
head.
had been sliced
Likely
open.
while a crown
She was
sewn
still
to her
alive.
head. Likely
No
while
sexual crimes have been
she was
committed.
still alive. Either pre
No
or
sexual
post-mortem.
crimes have been committed.
Either
Along
pre
with
or
Sakura's body
post-mortem.
was a note. written in
Along
straggly
with the chorus
handwriting.
body was a note.
It contained
written
many
in straggly
disjointed
handwriting.
phrases.
Some of which were
many
unreadable.
disjointed phrases.
Death is a distorted.
Some of which were unreadable.
Dream. Death is
She
a
will
distorted.
forever rule.
Dream.
And
she will forever rule.
Those which die are the
ha.
lucky ones.
Were various
Those which
phrases
die
that
are the
have been
lucky
written,
ones. Among
were
others,
various phrases
a match
that had
to the
been written
handwriting
among
was never
others.
found. A match to the handwriting
Oshiro,
was never
Hayato,
found.
and Hina.
Oshiro,
These two
Hayato,
were the
and
last of
Hina.
the killings,
These
and the
two
least
were the
gruesome.
last of the killings,
Hayato
and the least
and
gruesome.
Hina were
Hayato
very close
and Hina
siblings.
were. Hina
Very
was the
close
very
siblings.
stubborn elder sister.
Hina was the
and
very
her younger
stubborn
brother,
elder sister,
Hayato,
and her younger
was
brother,
very smart.
Hayato.
He
was
had
very
skipped
smart.
a grade.
He had
causing
skipped
him
a
to be in the
grade,
same class
causing
as
him
his
to be
beloved
in the
sister.
same class as his
The
beloved
two rarely
sister.
fought.
The
As
two
most
rarely
siblings
fought.
tended to do.
As most
They were
siblings
found
tended
dead in
to
their
do.
beds.
They were found dead in their beds on
2005.
April 4th, 2005.
The cause of death was a lethal injection.
The cause of
The
death was a
children's
lethal
bedroom
injection.
window was open.
The children's
And it was
bedroom window
deduced
was
that the killer
open.
snuck in quietly
And it was
enough
deduced that the killer
to kill the
snuck in
two without
quietly
waking
enough.
them.
Then
To kill the
snuck back
two
out.
without waking them.
Each child
snuck
held
back
half
out.
of an ace of hearts.
Each
playing
child
card
held
that,
half an ace of hearts
when put
playing
together,
card
that
spelled
when
out
put
the
together,
word Alice.
spelled out the word
One very
Alice.
smudged footprint was
One
found on
very
their
smudged
carpet.
footprint was
But
found on
closer
their
inspection
carpet.
was made
But closer
impossible by the
inspection
severe
was made
damage done to
impossible
the
by the
print.
severe damage
This
done
was
to
the
the
only
print.
piece of evidence.
This was the
other
only
than the
piece of
playing
evidence
card
left at
other
the
than the
scene.
playing card.
A
Left
year
at the
later,
scene. The mother of Hayato
A year
and Hina
later,
committed
the
suicide
mother of
out
Hayato
grief.
and Hina committed
Their father,
suicide
who
out
is
of
still
grief.
alive to this day,
Their father, who is still
going
alive
through
to this
extensive
day,
therapy to
is going through extensive
over the death
therapy
of his
to
entire family.
get over the death of
At
his
this
entire
moment,
family.
He is extremely
At this
depressed
moment,
and heavily
he is
medicated.
extremely depressed and heavily medicated.
Aftermath shortly after the death of the Oshiro
shortly
siblings.
after the death
A
of the
man
Oshiro
named
siblings.
Suzuki Yuto
A
was
man
arrested
named
for the
Suzuki
killings.
Yuto was
He
arrested
was a
for
bum
the
with
killings.
mental problems who
He was a
claimed
bum
to not
with mental
remember
problems.
where he was at the
Who
time
claimed
of
to
any
not
of the
remember.
murders. Where he
Most
was at the
damning of
time of
all,
any of the
he
murders.
was seen wearing a coat that
Most
had
damning
belonged
of
to
all,
Yamane Aki.
he was seen wearing a coat
A patch
that had
of blood
belonged
on
to
the sleeve
Yamane
tested
Aki.
positive to be his.
A patch of blood on the
Yuto,
sleeve tested positive
who was
to be
raving
his.
at this point,
Yuto
claimed that a demon
who
black
was raving
man
at
with
this
no
point,
face had given him
claimed
the coat.
that a demon black
Yuto
man with no face
was eventually
had given him the
released
coat.
when a homeless
was
shelter
eventually
5
released
miles
when a
from the
homeless
Kai
shelter
household
5 miles
claimed
from
to
the
have
Kai
him in their
household
files for the
claimed
night.
to have him in their
Of
files for the
Sakura's
night.
murder. Of
Since
Sakura's
there was
murder.
no way for him to get to where
Since
she
there
was
was no way
abducted
for him to get to where
and
she
back
was
without being
abducted and
noticed.
back without being noticed.
He was let go. He was let go. On April 30th,
On April
2008,
30th,
a producer known as
Yugami
his first song to
uploaded
Nico
his
video,
first song to Nico video
called Hitobashira Arisu.
Translated.
Roughly as Alice of Human Sacrifice. This song is believed to be based off of the Alice killings. It tells the story of a little dream
people
who
into
lures
its world.
people into its world.
Then goes on to tell the story
of each Alice. The song has a few
parallels
with each killing.
The first Alice,
Depicted as Mako, was trapped in the woods, which is where Megami's body was found. The second Alice, depicted as Kato, was a singer who was shot by a madman. The third Alice, depicted as Hatsune
was well loved,
became the country's queen, then was taken over by a distorted dream. The fourth Alice, depicted as Kagami Rin, was a pair of twins regarded as one Alice.
They are described
as a stubborn big sister and intelligent younger brother. It also speaks of how they have yet to awaken. A possible reference to them dying. In addition, the suits of the cards found with each body are also mentioned. Has not stated for sure if this song has any relation to the Alice killings, but it is widely assumed.